We should get some coffee.
I think so.
Let's do that also.
That's a good idea.
Time for coffee? See, what do you want to get?
Americano, please.
No.
It's an Americano.
With milk?
No. Black.
Without milk?
Yeah.
Café con leche.
Con leche.
Yeah. Thank you. Americano.
Yes. Do you know how they came up with that name?
No.
So apparently, now I'm sure people are going to watch this and they're going to go, that's not true. But what I've heard is that during the Second World War, the GIs were going to Italy and they were going in and ordering this coffee that was way too strong for them because you guys are pretty weak with your coffee.
Then you can't say that.
Pretty weak. It's filter coffee.
The filter coffee. Drip coffee. Okay.
And so every time they went in and they ordered an espresso, the Americans would say, or the American GIs would say, fill it up with water. And so therefore, whenever the Italians would come in, the Americans would come into an Italian place, they would say, it's the Americans, Americano.
Wow, this is beautiful. Hey everyone, this is Craig Durr, Chief Analyst and founder of the Collab Collective, and I want to welcome you to another episode of the Collaboration Café. Now, if you're not familiar with this series, what I do is I actually have a chance to sit down and share a cup of coffee with an industry influencer or thought leader, and we talk about what's on their mind. Well, I am here in beautiful Barcelona, Spain. Many of you know this as the location of ISC, the Integrated Systems Europe Conference, and I am here for that. But I'm actually also taking advantage to meet up with a really good friend. Helen Hawthorn is actually the head of solution engineers for Zoom for the entire EMEA region. And she's actually got some great insights I want to share with you. Now, Helen and I actually have known each other because we've worked together for many years. But what I want to talk to her about is two things. I am that silly American, and I don't necessarily understand some of the nuances of the European inner communities and how they interrelate within these UC platforms. And the other thing I want to have her do is actually help me understand how some of these Zoom AI features and solutions actually are being put to use in real life use cases here in the EMEA region. Think about it. Real-time translations, what a great place to be utilizing that. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and get a cup of coffee and meet up with Helen Hawthorn on this episode of the Collaboration Café. Oh, Helen. Hey, how are you doing?
Howdy, howdy.
Good to see you.
You too. And another one.
Oh, I got to do it European
twice.
style. I'm so sorry. It's so good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I appreciate you meeting me out here.
All good, sitting in the sun. It's not
I
bad, mate.
know. So is this a proper European coffee we're going to have here?
I hope so.
Is it really?
Yes.
I like this place you picked, Café 𝐶𝐳, right?
Yep. It's actually pretty old here. It's like 100 years old.
Is it really?
20s or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, but obviously you're not from here.
No.
Tell everyone where you're from.
From London.
Okay. I couldn't tell with the accent.
No, you couldn't tell with the accent. I have a very strong London accent. Actually, London, but heritage of Greek Cypriot. So it's kind of a Greek London, North London twang.
I love it. I love it. It makes you very unique in terms of how you take a look at what's taking place in this market. Now, you and I, let's make sure everyone knows this story. You and I have known each other probably for like 8-9 years, I guess, working together in the past.
It's got to be longer than that.
It must be. We worked together with several companies. Well, actually, mostly it was with Polycom.
Yep, mostly with Polycom.
Now, at this point in time, the way that we were working was I was on the team and my team was building the products.
Yep.
You were the team here that was actually doing all the pre-sales in the European market.
Yep.
And whenever we had a new product, we would come to you to help educate the market.
Yep.
Right?
And we would come back to you to say you need to do X, Y, and Z.
Yes, exactly. It was a great cycle there. It was a feedback taking glass. But even then, you were able to take me to some different markets. We went to Munich together. We went to Paris. We've been to Madrid.
We came to Spain as well.
We did as well.
We went to quite a few places. Milan, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think Milan too. Quite a few.
Yeah, and we won't talk about what takes place after the events. But at the events in themselves, these were wonderful. Because this is one of the key ideas I want to talk to you about visiting with you right now. We're in a place, and I'm a silly American. I don't appreciate...
I'm glad you said it.
Yeah, I know. I don't appreciate the nuances of the fact that we've got this multicultural continent that we just look at as one big single market. But EMEA in itself has so many nuances to it. Everything from what's taking place within a country to between countries as well too. And you live that day to day now, don't you?
Yeah. And it's an interesting one because look, I'm English.
Yeah.
So by definition, the Europeans don't think I'm European, to be clear, right? So they feel more American than European, but I think cultural heritage is a lot with the Greek Cypriot part and understanding that culture. But the language is a big one.
Yeah.
And people forget that. I think it's difficult from an American standpoint to understand the multitudes of language and even in the same country, the differences in the language and the culture.
How many languages do you know?
Me? Oh my God, don't say that. I'm from the UK.
Okay.
I understand Cypriot, not even Greek.
Okay.
I speak English, which means I'm an English person. We speak slow and louder.
Is that what you do?
And then we appear that everyone understands us. That's how this works.
That's a very American approach. Like, what do you mean? We could just turn it louder, right?
Well, I stick translation services on. They all love that now. But yeah, even culturally within Spain, for instance, there's different languages within Spain, and culturally it's different.
Right.
Same with Italy. To be fair, even the same in the UK. Not much different from America, but that's country by country, and these places are fairly small places. So
and I think that one of the interesting things also takes place is even within the country is how people wound up actually approaching how they work, how they live together differently.
Yeah.
Now, maybe this is a kind of a stereotype, but we've always approached the market of Germany, for example, as being very rigid, very rule-centric, very much aligned to what's taking place. So,
do you know what? I think rigid is probably the wrong word.
Yeah.
I think slower to move, more cautious.
Yeah.
I would say personally. I think they stick to what they know and what works.
Cautious. Yeah.
I think they're more. If you kind of flip that to the Nordics that are bleeding edge.
Yeah, are they really?
Oh yeah. I mean, the Nordics for me are more bleeding edge. Germany is more. No, I know that works.
Yeah.
Don't tell me not to use facts. Genuinely.
Really?
Don't tell me. Yeah. Don't tell me that I'm not going to have my PA there helping me out with every move on that phone. What do you mean soft client? No.
Wow.
So I think that works, and therefore, why are you going to fix it?
Right.
So therefore, you've got to just be a lot more cognizant and understanding of that when you're dealing with some of these companies.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, we always think about GDPR. We're finally kind of coming onto this, but also sustainability. You guys are coming
100%
sustainability regulations.
Each of those workplaces, and again, it all stems from government normally first, and then pushes itself in because if you think about Spain, Italy, actually most European countries, most of these companies we deal with have to work with government. Right. And the moment that a government organization, public sector organization states this is what we have to have, and any supplier that supplies us also has to adhere to these.
That's right.
Everyone then has to.
That's right.
And so yeah, accessibility, and I love this one, right, of your application has to be able for deaf, blind, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Even emotional nuances, right? No flashing stuff, colors being the right way. All this kind of stuff has to be built into the application. And therefore, that's not something that our developers back in America are really, truly going to understand. And so that feedback is invaluable.
Days are tense and the nights are long.
You do say that, but Zoom does have an international development organization, right? Yeah. With development centers, not only in the U.S., also in Asia Pacific, but also here in America.
Yeah, we did. And our product managers are global as well.
Are they really?
Yeah, they are. They are. It does help because of that feedback is totally invaluable. It's also the first place I've worked where genuinely it's a flat organization.
Yeah.
And we talk about this a lot. And I talk about that even externally. I mean, Eric will get an email or a chat from someone, and it doesn't matter if you are a 1 or 2 person company, he will answer you.
Really?
Yeah. He will still answer you.
That's great. He is very approachable. I've always liked working with Eric. He is, every time I've had an event where I had a chance to see him and there's a lot of people, he's always taking the time to shake hands, say hello, checking on me.
Yeah. And he still walks around the office and will be involved. And I know a lot of people do this, but he is very much involved in the day-to-day of the development of the product.
Right.
That is what he loves. It's his first love.
He actually said not that long ago, I don't know where he is now, but he was going to put himself in charge of the contact center business for a bit because that was a very important element for him, right?
Yeah. It's his baby.
It is?
It is.
It is.
It's everyone's. And he expects everyone to treat Zoom as their company.
It's interesting.
He expects all of us, and we do. And when we hire, again, we hire on your EQ, we hire on your passion, we hire. One of the things that I do when we hire people is you ask people at the end, where do you see the future of UC?
Yeah.
Because I want to know that they actually have an interest. You want them passionate. You want people to be passionate.
You're like one of these these hard interview questions that you're really judging people on.
That one, yeah.
I will never pass these interview questions. I don't know what to do. Okay.
That one's about, you can't hide passion. You can't, right? You cannot hide passion.
Marco's at Mitel.
He is. He's at Mitel.
That's really interesting because Mitel actually is a Zoom partner, right?
Yes.
You guys announced a solution.
Yeah, no. They were a large partner for us. So, so the way that is working is, of course, they know they've got a huge amount of estate out there, Mitel PBXs, where customers want to keep what they've got. They're used to it. They love it. We spoke about the nuances, the geography of Europe.
And don't lose sight because Mitel acquired the assets from Unify as well, too.
Yes,
and
they did.
That is a huge European install base.
It's massive.
It is.
Actually, their German install base is actually larger than what is outside of Germany. It's a huge one.
I know as well.
So the way that is working is we effectively integrate. It's an out-of-the-box solution.
Yeah.
It will be March, April time where it's completely live and customers can come to Mitel and to us, to our partners, and just turn that on. And what that gives them the capability is all the power of the Mitel solution, but backed up with the application on the desktop from Zoom. So therefore they then can use, all of our chat, video, contact center, I believe will be coming, whiteboarding, all the other applications that people want to use within that Zoom platform. Integrated with the Zoom, integrated with Mitel.
And that's a great example then of one of these scenarios where I don't think the American market really appreciates the nature of that partnership. I think obviously Mitel's got a customer base in the U.S.
They do.
Again, what we're talking about what takes place within the European market, where Unify had all these different country install bases as well too.
Yeah, and we are seeing it hit more here, way more here. The minute that we made that announcement, my SEs were literally, their phones were ringing off the hook.
Oh, really?
How do we get this? When do we do it? And we're phoning up, but you guys, right, back in products, and we're going, we need it now. And they're like, no, we've just made the announcement. I'm like, no, I don't think you understand. People are there wanting to place orders.
That's typical. That's typical of people back in the corporate back end getting too far over their skis, what we're saying, announcing that.
And Mitel is one of them, all right? Avaya is another one.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of partnerships now where they want to concentrate on what they do best.
Yes.
And we can then come in and help them on the collaboration parts, the parts of the business where actually they have not, it's just not been primed to their business, and we can step in now and help them out. So
it's great the way they fill the gaps because some people, for these other partners, there's always that impression that phone is dead. It's not dead.
Oh my God,
it's not dead. It's not. But what you're able to do also is to refresh those use cases. So we have powerful technology that Zoom can bring to it.
Yeah, his phone is not dead in Europe. I mean, genuinely.
Speaking of announcements, I think it's about time that we get over to the FIRA for ISE. I know it's still a prep day and you guys are still setting up, but I have a chance to go in and preview some pre-announcements going on. So we want to go ahead and catch us right over there and do that?
Let's do that.
Okay. Cool. Let's get our check when we have a chance. Check. El billet. El billet. El billet. I'm American. Does that work? That's where I'm staying right over there.
It's pretty, dude.
Isn't it?
Yeah, no.
So I have that garden top place right up there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ah, nice. Very nice.
So the best thing about this in the morning is that I get perfect access to the subway.
Yeah.
To take me right to La Fira. La Fira La Grande, is that how you say it?
I believe so.
La Grande. Come on, I'm asking the Brit.
I told you, I'm British. We're both in the same boat here, dude. Come on now, you took my language and screwed it up.
I know. Well, you guys screwed it up. Like, you guys, are we gonna go down the lift or the? What are we?
It's the U's that upset me when you take them out.
No.
The nuance.
We can't do everything like that, though. Well, the cool thing about the work I'm doing right now is when I was on just one company's team, we would always speculate about what was taking place throughout the industry.
Yeah.
Person doing this. I'm in this great position now where people trust me with all their information and their data. And I get to all of a sudden say yes and then help people form strategy. I am so excited with the work I'm doing right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I meant more product.
Oh, touching the products and building out the products?
Yeah.
You know, that is actually a really part that I do miss though. It is one of the key things. I got to buy a ticket also too.
Me too.
Did you get the free 5-day pass?
I haven't gone down and picked up my pass yet.
That's what we're going to do right now.
Ah.
Single ticket.
Single ticket. That's what you needed.
Is that what we need?
If we're going to pick up the ones from there, yeah?
Yeah. So let's get 2 of those.
Cool. I think it's restarted.
Are you a solutions engineer? Can you help me with this here? I'm having a problem here with my technology.
You are?
Do you know any engineers?
What I want to know is, what's the difference between the blue and this one?
I think it's English in that.
I'm going to do this right. You know what it is? You know what it is in London? We just use our phones.
I know. That's what I was doing before. Also, in New York, at least.
You just walk up to the barrier, you touch the phone, and you're in.
It's this
you know
one
which
here,
way
right?
we're going? Is it this one?
El one, and then we go to España, right? I always have to kind of pre-test this route every time I come here.
You know, I'm so used to Apple Pay. I don't get a ticket, I don't get anything. I just go on, tap, and straight through. Fortnum and Mason's is a much...
What's it
Fortnum
called?
and Mason's.
Okay.
Which is one of the old department stores, one of my favourite, actually.
Okay.
And their high tea up the top is, in my opinion, one of the best high teas. And I'm not a sweet person. This is the one
What's this airport? Is this short?
You really don't trust him.
You guys are going to get me lost here, right?
Listen, for years, these guys ruled the world, the Spanish. I trust him, he's good. Yeah, so if you think about the natural progression, it makes sense. It's the way you get very close to your customer.
We're going all the way to Teresa. Okay.
That's it, and then swapping over. Yeah, so no, for me, public transport, twofold. Number one, it's normally better than jumping into a cab and sitting in traffic.
Yeah.
We're a much smaller country than America, so therefore you get lots of traffic.
Right.
And the second part is walking around, you do get to see those cultural differences and it helps you in your day-to-day.
I bet. You know what, somebody once told me that, and I actually appreciate it. He said, in the US, you want to be very transactional.
Yes.
And the business that you do is, let's get the business done, get the
Yep.
business done. But he said, in Europe, there's a lot more relationship building.
It's all about relationship.
And the way that he used to say that was this, he said, he knew on Friday in his office, the only way he can get people to leave was to stop the wine. Because everyone was there enjoying the company of the people that were working with.
Yep.
And it was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Let's go back a little. I wanna feel.
In the portfolio, you guys have some really great applications. Like one of my favorites right now is docs.
Genuinely my favorite as we relate. Yeah, of course.
Well, I saw this really great thing that I really like, where if comparing some of those other softwares that you might be using, like for docs, you might have used Notion, you might have used some other things.
Yeah.
Whiteboard, you might have used any of these other planning tools like Miro.
Trying to remember them, aren't you?
Yeah, Miro and
Yeah.
some other ones as well too. But and even workflows. You guys
Yep.
are doing workflows in there now.
Yep, AI Studio as
That's
well.
Monday,
Yep.
stuff like that as well too. But are you using these yourself every day?
So Docs by far is one of my most used applications.
You're kidding me, really?
No. And actually for me personally, it's where AI properly came into its own.
Really?
So you imagine the amount of times we have to sit there and work through different documents that we have to put together for business cases or various things that we want to do. Having an application where I can go in there, dump in a load of information, put some links into different websites and then say, hey, this is what I'm trying to achieve, and it will kick out.
So that is using...
It will create, it's using AI to go off
AI
to the
to
different
pick,
sources.
right. So in Docs, you're
Yep.
using this as like your all-purpose knowledge store, and then you're creating individual things. You know,
Yeah. So
it's good
business cases, or when I'm looking to put together an agenda, or I know I need to talk about a certain topic.
Right.
I can, the ability for it to go off, sift through the data, bring back what I need.
Wow.
And yeah, you can do that within a meeting, but actually the capabilities to document that, the business case use for me is the best one, right? So when I'm trying to say, hey, we need to do certain things in this market, the ability to go in and say, okay, get me all the data from the Spanish market around financials within a
Wow.
and it will go off. And now that has saved me. The amount of time that saved me is not that I couldn't do it, frankly, but that's not my main priority.
And you would all initiate this out of Docs, right?
100%.
You know, and the thing that I love about the Zoom AI companion is the idea that it's contextual when I'm in the application.
Yep.
So if I'm in a meeting, it knows that that's the type of questions that I might want to be interested in. If I'm on a chat, it pulls that type of
100%
as well too. And I like that.
Isn't that what you want though?
What's that?
That's what you need,
Well,
right? You need it to know what you need before you know you need it.
And I love that it's accessible outside of the context of those workloads that I can still be using it.
Yeah.
Help me prepare for this next meeting and get some information about it. I have to find
Tell me about this person.
I found it as well as integrated some other things as well too.
Yeah, the other thing I like, I mean, outside of Docs and the application that we see when we're in remote form, the room thing really helps me, right? So I don't know if you've seen this, the labels within the rooms.
Oh.
I am terrible with names. You know this, you've known me for far too long. Right. I have this thing where I tell everyone, I call everyone dude.
Yes.
Because I forget your name.
Because you can't see what's taking place. So attribution, right?
Yeah, the fact that now it listens to the voice or it can see a picture of you and it knows who you are and it's bringing those up. Because you'll notice with me every time I'm on a meeting, I'm flicking down to see the person's name. And so when people are within a room, I found that really difficult.
Right.
The fact that that now is happening and I don't have to be going, oh my God, you know, and also when you're meeting new people, even people that have joined Zoom, right? It's really nice to be able to get some context about this person, who they are. I don't have to go and search. I can do that straight from the application and say, hey, tell me about so-and-so.
Right.
That was, and it's fantastic. It makes you look
like you're in the know.
Oh, you're in the know. So and when you're busy,
you can like prep for that right then.
You can prep for that yeah. And again, we all know what this industry is like. You go from one meeting to the next, and we're no different from any other organization where you get that busy. And you still would have done all that prep work, but now you're not staying up to 11 o'clock at night to do it. You know you can do it at that moment, at that time.
You know, one of the things that I think is really, really interesting, coming back to the European use case.
Yep.
I was wild and floored away whenever I see these real-time translation features.
Me too.
But I'm in the US. Well, I don't use that. I don't see it. But I mean, you probably put this to practical.
We use it all the time. Do you know? And again, I'll go back to when we interview people. So use cases for me, it's really difficult knowing that you're going to interview a solution engineer in Italy. And what you're trying to see is how will they behave in Italy?
Right.
And some of these guys, yes, their English is really, really good, but it's still not natural for them.
You want to see them act and behave
in a very natural way. Right. So that is what we do. The English speakers that are coming onto that call, or German speakers that are coming onto call, will stick on translation so that that person that's being interviewed can truly present in language, naturally, the free flow, the hands, the whole lot, and they're not having to think about translating. They're just, and for me, AI is all about that. It's about getting the best out of the person. And I know we've spoken about AI, and you see all these articles, right? Oh, it's doing this, it's doing that. But for me, it's not. It's about bringing out the best in the person, right? It's making them shine, making whatever they would normally do, but in a tenth of the time.
It is. So not only the productivity and the efficiency gains here, but you're talking about the ability now to see personality.
Yep.
You're talking about the ability to see relationships. Yep. And all of a sudden, AI becomes this tool that is, it really does shine here in this international environment.
Huh? No, it really does. And then, I mean, I always laugh. I always say it's like Babelfish, right? That's the. But what you really want is to go on, and you don't really have to think about anything, and everyone just hears it in their own language. Wouldn't that be great?
Right.
But yeah, for me, it's a massive step forward working in this type of environment. We talk about it internally, but let's talk about it externally as well. You know, we get onto a call with a customer. We really want to understand what they're trying to achieve and why. And if they can do that in their own language, even I, as the Brit that can't speak in their language, can truly understand what it is that they're trying to achieve. They don't have to start going, oh, let's switch to English now, because the English person's on.
Take things back.
Zoom AI Companion is also integrated into the contact center?
So yes, so AI is across the whole portfolio. And there's not an element. So I know there are various other of our competitors that will literally design it per kind of app or per application. We don't. It goes across the whole of our portfolio.
Okay.
There are certain nuances that we have here in Europe. So I don't know if you're aware, but we have a data center in Europe.
Okay.
That our European colleagues, companies that want to keep that data within the European Union.
So for GDPR reasons, yeah.
GDPR, privacy, various different things. So of course, AI in that environment is slightly different. It's Zoom only mode.
Oh.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
So it winds up keeping it within a sovereign data environment.
I wouldn't call it sovereign.
Yeah.
What I would call it is data residency. That is what it is.
Okay.
But it very much keeps it within Europe. Zoom only mode. Features are coming thick and fast. Most of the ones that you would think of are actually in there. But of course, we, as you know, use multiple different LLMs. So this gives us the ability to lock that down just within ours. And we can control it, and we can know, and we can promise our customers your data is not going to go anywhere else.
Right.
We have a data center with Deutsche Telekom. So I don't know if you're aware of that, but we have a joint data center with them.
Okay.
That is even more locked down to Germany and not just the whole of Europe, because our German colleagues definitely 100% see that as a necessity.
Right.
And then you also we have a data center, we have a couple of data centers actually over in Saudi. And again, the restrictions, the way that they do work over there, means that we really have to think about what can stay in, what can traverse, what does that look like? Yeah. And AI blends into that. And we're working a lot within those government organizations to really steer us in the right direction.
And for many people, this is probably their first introduction to some practical corporate related use cases around AI.
Yeah.
It's the one thing I've always liked about AI in our industry is that I think we were able to deliver some really practical use cases up front that were able to actually go across the entire company.
You know, again, we talk about favorites, right? Just for me, what works? Being on a meeting, we've got summary. Summary is great, but you know what I like even better now? Tasks.
Oh, really?
Right, so now at the end, you should hear my team. They're like, Helen said she would. And so that's
cue all the right words. I know exactly.
Honestly, it's but they can hear, even if you're not hearing them say that, whoever speaks it, you'll see it coming up in the task of, okay, I'll get on that or whatever. Right. And then it will come up in your task list.
I love the meeting summaries. It does a great job.
Do you know what? And it's got so much better, especially if you look at again, we talk about languages, right? A lot of places do get the English perfectly right. And then when you look at other languages, it's just slightly off. Actually, it's just got so much better.
Right.
And a lot of that is the feedback internally. And I think Eric going out there and saying that we won't use any of your information for training purposes really, really did help us within Europe.
That's good.
Right. It
was
true to him.
Yeah, it was important to have that trust and establish that trust early in the process.
You have to have the trust, right? It's the only, Europe specifically.
Yeah. It's like Dr. Seuss hat to me.
When I was growing up, it wasn't Dr. Seuss. I was Thundercats, which I love really? Thundercats. Yep. I was
He-Man, Thundercats.
Yep, He-Man, Thundercats. It was Fraggle Rock, which was awesome.
I love Fraggle Rock.
Bunches, the girl with the bunches.
Yes, exactly.
That's me, nutcase.
This is always, there's a nuance there, right?
Yep.
I don't know if that was us exporting U.S. culture to you or vice versa. Or
it happened both ways, right? I was also into Monty Python, which I know you guys are like into in a big way.
Monty Python. Here we are. It's here.
Yeah.
I love this event.
I love ISC.
So ISC to me brings together the best of unified communications of the devices that come together. Yep. And you know what I love about this as well is that the UC platforms like Zoom are very prevalent now.
It is. It's definitely changed as I've been coming to ISC for years and years. When it was back in the Netherlands, and then they moved it over here. Right. And yes, what we get now is that AV side, but also the cloud solutions. I mean, actually, there's some pretty random stuff here now, but a lot to do with collaboration and AV and people working together. And yeah, I love it. We get to see everybody, which is really cool.
I know.
We definitely use it as a way of connecting with multiple different partners and customers that are coming here. Especially going around to see a lot of our partners. So it's not just about come to us and come and have a look around.
I know.
I mean, look at it though. It's awesome, right? You've got all the digital signage stuff, which we do. And by the way, this is actually really good when you're looking up at that, because one of the things that we do very well is we're bringing together multiple what we would call collaboration platforms.
Right.
So if you look up there, there's a whole area to do with digital signage. Well, that's inbuilt to our platform.
You're right. I know. Exactly.
Same thing with room reservations, same thing with whiteboarding, same thing. So these platforms that were very separate, I think it's why people find it difficult where to place us, because we've literally just gone, why would you separate these things out? They naturally integrate with each other.
I mean, one of the most obvious examples or statements to make that is that you as a company have officially renamed yourself.
Yes.
You're now Zoom Communications.
We are.
Yeah.
We are. And for me, that makes complete sense. I don't even go as far as communications. I mean, I love the fact that we're called, I mean, most people just say Zoom, let's be honest, right? But it's Zoom Communications. I think it puts a better stance on who we are as a company.
Yeah.
I mean, I just spoke about room reservation before, AI in room reservation. Right. You walk in, or even before, you say, okay, tell me, where do you think I should sit? Right. And it looks at who is in your team, who do you talk to the most, so the AI, as I said, because we put it across the whole of our platform, it really does, it infiltrates to every single area just to make life easier.
Well, you were talking about AI in the workspace. I mean, physically, like I had a chance to visit with the team, John Stearns and team, talking about Zoom workspaces. In fact, we've done some panel discussions as well about that. But AI across there is a great
AI across the whole of our portfolio, and the way that it pulls different information from the different applications as well. So I walk in, I mean, again, I'm probably most users now go to multiple offices that I don't normally walk into. I go in there and I'm like, where the hell am I going to sit, right? Where am I going to sit down? Where am I not going to take up someone's space or be in a place that's awkward or next to someone that may not want me sat next to them? Okay, that may be a lot of people. Right. But yeah, but I can go in now and it'll start making suggestions to me of, hey, your team is sat here, or someone you communicate a lot with, or so me, it really does show the power of what we're trying to achieve, which is let's not just look at these applications just as this siloed approach. That's not what we're about. Communication is across the board, whether it be phone, video, sitting next to someone in an office, going into that meeting room, understanding the usage of those rooms is truly where the power lies.
Collaboration technologies, the whiteboard, the docs, it all comes together. Well, I guess we are about here. Shall we head in?
Yes, 100%.
This is the day before the chaos. So everyone, hey, I want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Collaboration Cafe. Helen, thank you so much.
No, thank you. It's been awesome.
We are going to now go off and do our work. We will talk to you later, okay? I wonder if they have coffee in here as well.
I hope so.
More.
I need more coffee. It's been at least 20 minutes.